So a giant has just become available, and the Indiana Fever clearly need a decent chunk of size. However, I'm going to talk a little bit in this video about what the Indiana Fever should do with Kyla Oldacre, because there is always that developmental slot. And the Indiana Fever, unfortunately, do have a whole team of 5'9" and under guards. And it's looking like the Indiana Fever will probably use that developmental slot on a 5'9" guard in Jessica Timmons, who, in fairness, played well yesterday. I would say it's going to be between her and probably Megan McConnell for that developmental slot. Timmons is a much better offensive player. McConnell is a much better defender. And I felt like we already know Passat has one of them. However, there's also the very, very good possibility that Justine Passat gets picked up and they have 2 developmental slots. And that's where bringing Kyla Oldacre may not be the dumbest idea in the world, because it is size. It is size. Like, I'm not saying she's good or anything. I'm not saying she's this brilliant player. She's huge. Can we start the conversation with Vic Schaefer's development is only reserved for Dawn Staley? Yeah, I don't think Vic Schaefer is developing WNBA players. I don't think anyone's saying that. Jesus. And I also don't think Vic Schaefer and Dawn Staley are ever being spoken about in the same sentence. And if they are, you're crazy. How much you make Taurasi as a developmental slot? But they have to waiver before signing her to developmental roster. They do. But it means over the next 48 hours, any other team can sign her to a training camp. Or any team can sign her to a developmental slot. Look, she's huge. She is huge. But I got to be real here. I don't think that Kyla Oldacre is even worth throwing a developmental flyer on. I just don't. Like, if the Indiana Fever had any intention of bringing in a giant and actually playing them, Kalani Brown is currently unsigned. And I don't think there's attitude issues with Kalani Brown like there is with Tiara McCown. Kalani Brown's currently unsigned. The Indiana Fever can absolutely go and sign Kalani Brown. Like, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to make that signing. If they purely wanted size. But they clearly don't. Because they want some size with some mobility. If you want size with mobility, the best player available right now is Marianne Badian. Marianne Badian from France. So she's a player who, obviously this was in the Olympics, shoots the 3. Okay, she didn't shoot well at the Olympics, but is an okay 3-point shooter, is 6'4", starts for France, sometimes with Malonga and Repair, and has had some good games against good teams, like 13 points against Canada in the Olympics. 6'4". I thought she looked okay for the Lynx last year, but my assumption is if that Badian is not, if she's not currently on a WNBA roster, is because she doesn't want to be on a WNBA roster. That would be my assumption. But yeah, so if they want pure size, McCown or Kalani Brown, Badian, if they want someone that's size, a bit mobile, and can stretch the floor a little bit. Again, she averaged 8 points per game in the tournament here, and she's about 6'4". She's a lot taller than 6'2". But yeah, she had 11 against Germany in a big win, playing 20 minutes game for France in World Cup qualifiers. I did pretty well. And again, shot 44% from 3 in those games. I don't really see the point of bringing in Kyla Oldacre. Like, this is just size for the sake of size. And I don't think there's too much for for that. Like, I genuinely don't. I don't think the size for the sake of size, there's much of a point in it. Again, she is somebody that I actually am not a fan of the WNBA level. I think she's going to make it as a pro. I think she's going to make it as a pro. I don't think she's a W player yet, but the Fever are undersized, and I do think in general, that like they need a little bit different than Kyle Oldacre. I don't think bringing in a rookie who's didn't even make it to game 1 of preseason is a smart idea. I don't think of bringing in a player who didn't make it to preseason is smart. She didn't even make it to preseason. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people again pushing for her. There's a reason you don't make it to a preseason game. Like, the players that have been cut mostly at this point in time have been players that have just been clearly not at the races. Like, undrafted players. Players that in general you're like, okay, this makes no sense why they're even signed in the first place. Like they call Z Spearman as well, who's a forward. Did they draft her? Okay, they took her with the 31st pick and they cut her before training camp. So it's like, maybe you take a flyer on Z Spearman. I don't know. But like, I don't see the point in it. I don't see the point in cutting size for size for the sake of size. Like, that genuinely is, like, that's what Kyle Oldacre is, and a lot of people were pushing for that. I think at this point, there's no point. If she was there for full training camp, I think they should have signed her to a full training camp roster and then gotten her a chance to play in 1 or 2 games. But to bring her in midway through training camp when they have a game on Thursday and expecting anything out of her, when by the sounds of things, with the way they want to use the developmental contracts, they're not going to ever call her up. I think I'd rather them look for a wing. I'd rather them look to see if they can find a 6'2" wing from anywhere. From anywhere. It doesn't even have to be someone on their team right now. Can they find a 6'1", 6'2", 6'2" wing? If they can't, so be it. They're probably just going to have 2 5'8" guards when Psok gets signed by somebody else anyway. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think in general that that this is a player that the Indiana Fever should sign? Because she is huge. She's not particularly mobile. By the way, there were people that were pushing for Fever to sign Kyla Oldacre 10. There were actually people that were pushing for that. I remember when I saw it, I was like, you people are actually crazy. You are actually crazy with your draft takes. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys.